Are you looking for the best state to live outside of New York City? Specifically, if you're looking to buy a home in the not too distant future? Now, I'm not talking about the best state overall. I'm just talking about the best state with regards to living in the suburbs of New York City and having an easy commute into downtown or midtown Manhattan. Which of the three states, maybe even four, depending on how you look at it, would work best for you? Now, of course, everyone thinks of New York. If I live in New York City and I'm going to move to the suburbs, the most logical step is to move north into Westchester or east into Nassau County. But there's other places to talk about, like Connecticut, New Jersey, and even Pennsylvania, again, depending on which way you look at the map, and the Economic Metropolitan New York City area. Now, today I'm going to talk mostly about Connecticut, Westchester, Nassau County, and most of northern New Jersey. But I just wanted to put that out there in terms of the wider picture. So of course, if you're new to my channel, you might not know most of my content is about New Jersey. And as you could probably guess, that's where I'm heading as the answer to this video. But if you're new to the channel and you're looking to learn all about the suburbs of New York City, then please consider becoming a member of our Subs of NYC community. All right, so let's get into the details here. If you're interested in learning more, definitely get in touch with us. We're here to be a resource for you on the ground in northern New Jersey, in the suburbs of New York City. And if you're looking to move in the next 7 days or 7 months, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email so we can help you make an easy, stress-free purchase. You might be wondering, why the heck do I have credibility in this space? Well, I actually grew up in Connecticut. So as someone who grew up in Connecticut, always sort of made the stereotypical jokes about New Jersey, I actually ended up living here. So I'm actually a great resource for you in terms of why you might want to live in New Jersey and getting past some of those stereotypes that you might have in your head. So why is one better than the other? And honestly, they're all really good, right? Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, they've got great schools, great towns all over the place. Lots of good options for you. But I'm gonna focus on one, maybe two things, stick around to the end of the video for the second thing, that really make New Jersey one of the best places to live outside of New York City. And the reason really is, and I've talked about it in other videos, is the commute. Now, you can get good commutes into Westchester and good commutes into Nassau County, eastern Nassau County. But the truth of the matter is, there's very limited towns that are within that commuting distance. We're talking about an hour. So when you look on the map, you can see Westchester just to the north, Connecticut a little bit further away, and then western Nassau County right along the edges of Queens and Brooklyn. And then of course, if you look over to the west at New Jersey, you've got this huge radial of options where there's way more geography in towns. Matter of fact, when we highlight an area, and I just did this really quick on Google Maps, Connecticut's about 160 square miles, western Nassau County is about 120 square miles, lower Westchester County is about 135 square miles. But when we compare that to northern New Jersey, even the eastern part of northern New Jersey, I'm not talking about all of northern New Jersey, just the part that's probably within a good hour's commute, that's over 800 square miles. So when you add up those three compared to the 800, you've got a lot more options. And that's what this video is really about. Commuting options, but stick around to the end. Again, I'm going to talk about the other options that you have that are really specific to this super tight market that we're talking about. If you're having trouble finding a home, definitely stick around so I can talk about the rest of that. So let's just focus on commuting times. So with Connecticut, when we're talking about geography, it's an extra 25 miles just from midtown Manhattan to the western edge of Connecticut, right at the beginning of Greenwich and Fairfield County. So right off the bat, you've got that extra 25 miles to contend with. And when we look at commute times, the fastest commute you can get before 8 a.m., say you're gonna commute into work, you gotta get there by 8:30, 9 o'clock, or maybe just at 8 o'clock, the best time from Greenwich Station is about 49 minutes. Now that's the best time. Every other station behind that is going to be slightly longer, right? So when you factor in Stamford and Westport, those commutes are well over an hour. So think about that when you're talking about commutes into Midtown Manhattan. Now, Westchester, that is not really a problem, right? To be honest, with commutes, you've got some pretty good trains from some of the towns that are just over the border from New York City. And I'm not going to go into all the different towns, but you do have some interesting options in terms of commute times. They're going to be below 49 minutes. And the same with parts of western Nassau County. You've got some really good commutes into places like Garden City, Great Neck, those kind of places. You do have some really good commuting options. But when we compare it to New Jersey, we've got some excellent commuting options. Now, if we're talking about places like I've talked about before on the channel, like South Orange, Maplewood, you've got some excellent commutes under 35 minutes right into midtown Manhattan. Now, if you work downtown, you also have the option of changing your commute and going to either Hoboken or Newark and then taking the path into lower Manhattan. So you do have some really good options to get into the city. If you go a little bit further out, some of the other towns that I've talked about on the channel, like Morristown, now you're right on the edge of an hour's commute. So you've got that huge stretch. And if we're talking about geography and distances outside of New York City, to get to South Orange, New Jersey, we're talking about a 12-mile as the crow flies. So there is a little bit of distance to get past Jersey City, Hoboken, Newark, all those little places in between. But still, that's only 12 miles compared to 25 miles like Connecticut. Okay, so now that's commutes, right? But what are you getting at here? What else is there? Well, I've talked about at the beginning, all these places are really good. They've got good schools, great parks, lots of things to do. But the other thing to keep in mind, again, in terms of geography, if you live in Connecticut and you want to go south, say you want to go to visit Philadelphia or Washington, D.C., or anywhere south, you want to drive down to the shore, maybe you want to get to the Jersey Shore, or you want to go further to Outer Banks, any of these places, you still got to get all the way through New York City. So that's an extra hour's time to get down to New Jersey, where you would be just starting from if you lived there. Now, again, going to Western Nassau County, same thing. You've got to spend an hour just to get through the city. At best, you're going to be going through the Belt Parkway around and going through Staten Island over the Verrazano Bridge to Staten Island. So you've got all that extra time and distance to get you places. So the nice thing about New Jersey is you have easy access to places like Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh. Get out and explore other parts of the world, specifically the United States, obviously. And when I say other parts of the world, most of the towns that I talk about on the channel are only a 15-minute drive to Newark Airport. And from there, you've got some of the best flights in the world, all the way to Singapore, Florida, wherever you're trying to go. You have some really awesome travel options. So that's just logistics, commute, and geography. Now, if you're interested in why my family and I personally moved to New Jersey, I've got another video. I'll link it right above and below in the description so you can check that out. But now let's talk about that extra piece of the puzzle that I've been holding on to make sure you watch to the end. And definitely comment down below if you have any questions or concerns, or if you're interested in getting in touch with us, our email and phone number are down there so we can get in touch and help you on your search. We're definitely here to be a resource for you in terms of your home search. Okay, so now specifically in terms of home search, this is the piece of the puzzle that really makes a difference when you're considering all the different states and why New Jersey is probably the best option for you. So in terms of home search, the other thing that you really need to consider when thinking about the best state to live outside of New Jersey and why New Jersey is probably the best option is inventory. Inventory is a very big thing when it comes down to a super tight housing market like we're seeing right now. You're probably very frustrated with what you're seeing coming online. There's still very consistent demand for what is out there. Even though interest rates are high, they're going to be coming down eventually. And once that interest rate does come down, you're going to see even more demand. So inventory, as in terms of supply and demand, is really crucial to your home search. And which state has the most inventory? New Jersey. Now, I know you're laughing, right? You're probably thinking, oh, that's because nobody wants to live here. That's not the case. It's because of that big area of land that I was talking about earlier, that bigger radial when you're looking at the circle around New York City. In terms of active listings in southwestern Connecticut, that little foot that sticks into Westchester, that's about 750 listings as of today, the filming of this video. If we move over a little bit west into lower Westchester County, there we're talking about 1,200 active listings as of today. Now, if we look at Western Nassau County, just over the edge from Queens and Brooklyn, that area represents about 1,900 active listings as of today. Traveling west over into New Jersey, I'll show you a circle of where I picked these homes. Again, about an hour's commuting radius. That area has over 5,400 listings. When you add up those three other counties, Westchester, Fairfield County, and Western Nassau County, that's about 3,900 compared to 5,400. That's a difference of 1,500 listings. And when you look at it from the perspective of most people are either focusing on one or the other, then we're talking about thousands of listings more, like 3,000-4,000 more listings. So give yourself, in this market where you've got so little inventory, give yourself the best opportunity to go after a listing where you are really going to like that home, but also in terms of active listings, you're going to want to go to the market that has the most listings available so you can actively participate in bids and have a better chance of winning. The other thing about Westchester and Connecticut, which I didn't mention in terms of overall inventory, is that includes those crazy high expensive listings that those places are known for, above $10 million. Now, sure, you can still find some of those $10 million properties in New Jersey. In fact, Aaron Rodgers just bought one. I'll link below the tour to that house. But the thing is, most of the properties in New Jersey are within a reasonable price. Now, when I say reasonable to New York City, and of course reasonable compared to Manhattan prices. It may not be reasonable compared to other places in the country that are much less expensive. So if you're really frustrated with how your home search is going, this really gives you perspective on other options outside of New York City, specifically New Jersey, that are going to give you a little bit more wiggle room, and why you might want to consider places other than just lower Westchester County and Connecticut and Western Nassau County. You might want to think about expanding that into New Jersey. Hopefully this information has helped you in terms of considering other places besides just Westchester County or the stereotypical Connecticut commute or Western Nassau County. New Jersey is a really great option. And if you're looking for some of the best towns in New Jersey that you might want to consider, I've got another video and I'm going to link it right here. I'll see you over there in just a few seconds.